The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. Longman Simplified English Series. Read by พิชิชัย นพเก้า Chapter 16 Tom's Dream Becky's Revenge. That was the great secret. The plan to return home with his brother pirates and attend their own funerals. They had sailed over to the Missouri side on a log at twilight on Saturday, landing 5 or 6 miles below the village. They had slept in the woods till nearly daylight, and had then crept through the back lanes and finished their sleep upstairs in the church. At breakfast on Monday morning, Aunt Polly and Mary were very loving to Tom and very attentive to his wants. There was an unusual amount of talk, in the course of which Aunt Polly said, "Well, perhaps it was a fine joke, Tom, but it was cruel to let me suffer so. If you could come over on a log to attend your funeral, you could have come over and told me that you weren't dead." "Yes, you could have done that," said Mary, "and I believe you would if you had thought of it." "Would you, Tom?" asked Aunt Polly, rather sadly. I don't know. It would have spoiled everything. Tom, I hope you love me as much as that," said Aunt Polly in a grave tone that discomforted the boy. "It would have been something if you cared enough to think of it. Even if you didn't do it." "Tom, you'll look back someday, when it's too late, and wish you'd cared a little more for me when it would have cost of you so little. Now, Auntie, you know that I do care for you. I know it better if you show me that you care." "I wish now I thought," said Tom, regretfully. "But I dream about you, anyway. That's something, isn't it?" "It isn't much. A cat does that. But it's better than nothing. What did you dream?" "Why, Wednesday night I dreamed that you were sitting over there by the bed, and Sid was sitting by the wood box, and Mary next to him." "Well, so we did. So we always do. And I dreamed that Joe Harper's mother was here." "Why, she was here." "Did you dream any more?" "Oh, lots. But it's so dim, you know." "Well, try to remember, can you?" "Somehow, it seemed to me that the wind blew oh, try harder, Tom. The wind did blow something, yes?" Tom placed his finger on his forehead for an anxious minute, and then said, I got it now. I got it now. It blows the candle, and it seemed to me that you said, Why, I believe that door. Good heavens! Go on, Tom, go on. Just let me think a moment. Just a moment. Oh, yes. You said that you believed the door was open. That's as true as I'm sitting here. I did. Didn't I, Mary? Go on. And then. Well, I won't be certain, but it seemed as if you made it go and. Well, what did I make him do, Tom? You made him. Oh, you made him shut it. Goodness gracious. I never heard anything like that in all my days. There is some truth in dreams. Serena Harper shall know of this before I'm an hour older. When I tell her about my dreams, she says, rubbish and fancies. Go on, Tom. Oh, it's all getting as bright as day now. Next you said that I wasn't wet, only mischievous. And so I did. Well, go on, Tom. And then you began to cry. I did. Not for the first time, either. And then Mrs. Harper began to cry and said Joe was just the same, and she wished that she hadn't worth his for taking the cream which she'd thrown away herself. Good Lord, Tom, this is a miracle. Goodness gracious, go on, Tom. Then he said, I don't think I said anything, said Sid. Yes, you did, Sid, said Mary. Shut your mouth and let Tom go on. What did he say, Tom? He said, he said he hoped I was happier where I have gone to, but if I've been better sometimes. There, do you hear that? His very words, and you made him shut up. I did. An angel must have shown you all that, Tom. There was an angel with you. And Mrs. Harper told about Joe making her jump, and you told about Peter and the painkiller. As true as I'm sitting here. Then there was a lot of talking about having the funeral of Sunday, and then you and Mrs. Harper cried and she went. It happened just so, Tom. You couldn't have told it better if you seen it. And then what? And then I thought you prayed for me, and I could see you and hear every word. You went to bed, and I was so sorry that I brought on a piece of bark. We are not dead. We are only being pirates, and I put it by the candle, and then you look so good. lying there asleep, that I thought I went and learned over and kissed you. Did you, Tom? Did you? I forgive you everything for that. And when she threw her arms about him, he felt the guiltiest of villains. Here's a big apple I've been saving for you, Tom. If you were ever found again, now off you go, all of you. You was enough for my time. The children left for school, and the old lady went to call on Mrs. Harper and conquer her disbelief with Tom's marvelous dream. What a hero Tom was now! He did not go jumping and dancing, but stepped with his chest out like a pirate who felt that the public eye was on him. He tried not to seem to see the looks or hear the remarks as he passed along, but they were food and drink to him. Smaller boys than himself flocked at his heels, as proud to be seen with him as if he had been the drummer at the head of procession or an 11 leader a circle. Into town, boys of his own size pretended not to know that he had been away at all. But in reality they were eaten up with envy. They would have given anything to have that drug, sunburned skin of his, and his glittering fame. At school the children were so full of admiration for Tom and Joe that the true heroes soon became unbearably went. Finally, when they got out their piff and went puffing around, the very height of glory was reached. Tom decided that he could be independent of Becky Thatcher now. Glory was sufficient. He would live for glory, now that he was distinguished. Perhaps she would be wanting to be friends again. Well, she would see that he could be as proud as some other people. Presently she arrived. Tom pretended not to see her. He moved away, joined a group of boys and girls, and began to talk. Soon he observed that she was running gaily to and fro, pretending to chase schoolmates, and screaming with laughter when she made a capture. But he noticed that she always made her capture in his neighborhood. After a time she gave up playing and moved hesitatingly about, glancing occasionally at Tom. Then she observed that Tom was talking more particularly to Amy Lawrence than to anyone else. She grew disturbed and uneasy at once. She tried to go away, but her feet led her to group instead. Mary, I want to tell you about the picture. Oh, picnic, said Becky to a girl almost at Tom's elbow. "Oh, who's going to give it?" "My master's going to let me have one." "I hope she will let me come." "She will. The picnic's for you." "No, the picnic's for me." "She'll let anybody come that I want, and I want you." "That's nice for you. When is it going to be?" "Soon, perhaps. In the holidays." "Oh, would it be fun? Are you going to invite all the boys and girls?" "Yes, everyone who has a friend of mine or want to be." And she glanced at the Tom. But he talked on the Amy Lawrence about the storm on the island and how to lightning tore the great tree to bits, while he was standing within 3 feet of it. With a clapping of joyful hands, all the group begged for invitations, except Tom and Amy. Then Tom walked off with Amy. Becky's eyes filled with tears. She went as soon as she could, and she sat along till the bell rang. Then she dried her eyes, held up her head, and said that she knew what she would do. During the interval, Tom continued in the company of Amy and kept wandering about the fire begging in order to make her feel angry. At last he caught sight for her. She was sitting on a little bench behind the school, looking at a picture book with Alfred Temple. She deeply interested were they, and so close together were their heads over the book that they didn't seem to be to notice anything else. Jealously ran red hot through Tom. He caught himself and full of throwing away the chance of becoming friends again which Becky and has offered. Amy's happy talk became unbearable. Tom spoke weakly about some things which he had to do and hastened away. "She thinks that overdressed fool is better than I am," he thought, grinding his teeth. "Oh, all right. I gave him a beating the first time I saw him, and I do it again." He went through the motions of fighting an imaginary boy, hitting the air and kicking and pulling. "Oh, you've had enough, have you? You have you? Now, let that be a lesson to you." And so the imaginary beating was finished to his satisfaction. Tom fled home at noon. His conscience could not bear any more of Amy's grateful happiness, and his jealously made the sight of Becky and Alfred Temple together available too. Becky looked at some more pictures with Alfred, but no Tom came to suffer. She grew miserable, and when Alfred kept on exclaiming, "Oh, here's a nice one. Look at this," she lost patience and said, "Oh, I don't care for them," and got up and walked away. Alfred went thoughtfully into the desert school. He easily guessed the truth. The girl had simply made use of him to annoy Tom Sawyer. He wished that there was some way of getting that boy into trouble without much risk to himself. His eye fell on Tom's spelling book. Here was his opportunity. He opened it at the lesson for the afternoon and peering upon the page. Becky, glancing in a window behind him, saw him and moved away quickly. She hurried away, intending to find Tom and tell him. Tom would be thankful and their troubles would be ended before she was halfway home. However, she changed her mind. She thought of Tom's treatment of her when she was talking about the picnic, and she determined to let him be punished on account of damaged spelling book and to hate him forever too.